The Simpsons has been on the air longer than most of its competition has existed, and in that time, they've referenced almost every major cartoon that came after them. Some of those were friendly, some of those were brutal. Today, I'm going to show you every time The Simpsons went after another cartoon, and we're starting with the friendly ones. In 2016, the season 28 premiere opens with a couch gag done entirely in the Adventure Time art style. The whole opening gets rebuilt from the ground up. Mr. Burns is around the nuclear power plant dressed as the Ice King. Bart becomes Finn. Homer becomes Jake. Lisa is Marceline. Maggie is Princess Bubblegum riding Santa's little helper stretched out to look like Lady Rainicorn. Even the theme song gets rewritten and performed the same way Adventure Time does it. The whole thing ends with the family climbing up to a couch. Bart kicks Homer off and the Simpsons Time logo drops. Pure love letter. No jab, no twist, no punchline at Adventure Time's expense. Just two shows with completely different styles giving each other a nod. Now compare that to what happened with Rick and Morty. In the season 26 finale, Mathlete's Feet, the couch gag starts normal. The Simpsons run in, sit on the couch, and then a space cruiser crashes straight through the wall. The whole family gets splattered across the room. Yellow smears everywhere. Homer, Marge, Bart, Lisa, Maggie, all gone. Rick blames Morty. Morty is running around the room panicking. Rick then just scoops up what's left of the family into a vial, hands it to Morty along with the family portrait, and sends him through a portal to another dimension, some kind of alien organ farm, to get clones made. While Morty's gone, Rick then just starts raiding the house. He eats Homer's donuts, cracks open a Duff beer, tries on Marge's necklace. Ned Flanders walks in, sees the mess, notices Rick. Rick doesn't even bother explaining, just hits him with a freeze ray and goes back to playing the saxophone. Morty comes back with the cloned eggs. Rick dumps them on the couch and cranks the thermostat up to hatch them. They hatch, but something's gone very wrong. Every single clone comes out deformed, part Simpson, part Rick. Rick looks at the mess, turns to Morty and goes,
"Hey Morty, little tip. Don't clean DNA vials with your spit. Let's go. I'm driving this time."
On the way out, the mutated version of Bart sits up and moans,
"No more guest animators, man."
That couch gag is the longest one in the show's entire history. The tone is about as far from that Adventure Time gag as you can get, but those were the cartoons The Simpsons invited in. What happened to the uninvited ones is a completely different story. SpongeBob SquarePants, one of the most beloved cartoons ever made. Wholesome, colorful, completely harmless. A show where the worst thing that happens is Squidward having a bad day. So when The Simpsons got their hands on it, they did exactly what you'd expect. In the episode Yellow Subterfuge, Krusty the Clown's show is tanking in the ratings. Lisa suggests he sell foreign rights to save it, pointing out that even SpongeBob did it. She pulls up an Italian version of SpongeBob on her tablet. In the clip, Spugna Roberto gives his friend Squidwardo Calamari a birthday present. Sweet, right? Except the present is a World War II landmine. While he's mid-sentence, a seahorse drifts by and lands on the trigger. Spugna Roberto and Squidwardo are both blown to pieces. That's the Simpsons version of SpongeBob. SpongeBob episodes end with everyone laughing. This one ends with a funeral. And that wasn't the last time The Simpsons came for SpongeBob either, in Treehouse of Horror 33. But we'll come back to that one later, because what it does is even wilder. If you think The Simpsons only targets the classics though, you'd be wrong. Even brand new cartoons aren't safe. In May 2025, the season 36 finale, A Stranger Things, has Bart and Lisa drifting apart after they stop watching Itchy and Scratchy together. Bart starts watching other shows on his tablet. Marge walks in, looks at what he's watching, and sees total chaos. Characters screaming. The whole screen looks like pure insanity. The show is called Screaming Friends, a direct shot at Smiling Friends, one of the biggest new animated shows going. Bart looks at Marge and says, "Obviously the jokes are great, but what I love is the storytelling. And what makes this one different from every other cartoon on this list is what happened next." Because Smiling Friends didn't just take the hit. 6 months later, in November 2025, they fired back. In the episode Squim Returns, the show opens with Pim watching a cartoon called Grimsons, green-skinned versions of the Simpsons family drawn in that crude Smiling Friends style. And then the Homer parody walks in and eats the Bart parody. Pim watches and says,
"After 487 seasons, they've still got it."
487 seasons. That's the counter jab. And the fact that Smiling Friends turned it around that fast tells you they were ready for it. But if Smiling Friends got a quick jab and fired one back, South Park got something much bigger, and they threw the first punch. If you're watching this right now, you clearly love these deep dives into The Simpsons. My goal is 100,000 subscribers by the end of this year, and a quick subscribe would go a long way. So, South Park is the only cartoon on this list where the other show started the fight, and what started as a joke turned into one of the most famous back and forths in animation history. In 2002, South Park aired an episode called Simpsons Already Did It. The whole thing follows Butters as he tries to come up with an evil plan to take over the world. He lands on one, and immediately gets told the Simpsons already did it, so he tries another plan. Simpsons already already did it. Block out the sun? Simpsons did it. Cut the head off the town statue? Simpsons did it. He can't come up with a single original evil scheme because every single one has already been a Simpsons episode. The gag keeps building and building until Butters completely loses his mind. Every idea, every scheme, every angle taken. The Simpsons got there first, years ago, and there's nothing he can do about it. So, The Simpsons responded. In The Bart of War, Bart and Milhouse are sitting at home watching TV, and a fake new episode of South Park comes on. Stan, Kyle, and Cartman are all on screen. Marge walks in, watches for a moment, and criticizes the cartoon violence. Says the show isn't life-affirming. That's The Simpsons' entire response. They took South Park's characters and had Marge politely disapprove. But if the South Park exchange felt measured, even respectful, what The Simpsons did to Family Guy was the complete opposite. It starts in Treehouse of Horror 13. Homer gets a magic hammock that can clone anyone who lies in it. He starts cranking out copies of himself to do his chores. The clones aren't very bright. One of them accidentally brings back Ned Flanders' severed head when Homer just wanted his chainsaw returned. Eventually, the clones escape and start cloning themselves with the abandoned hammock, creating an army of hundreds of Homers. And right there, standing in the crowd of clones, is Peter Griffin, just standing there among the Homer clones like he belongs. Because according to The Simpsons, he does. Peter Griffin is just another Homer mutation, a copy. That alone is a brutal visual gag, but The Simpsons came back and buried it. In The Italian Bob, the Simpson family is traveling through Italy, and they come across an Italian police book, a mugshot book of wanted criminals. They're flipping through the pages, and right there, with his own entry, is Peter Griffin. His listed crime? Plagiarismo. Now, because the episode is set in Italy, the whole book is in Italian, and plagiarismo is just the Italian word for plagiarism, basically copying someone else's work. So The Simpsons literally listed Peter Griffin as a wanted criminal whose crime was copying them. And then, same page, same book, right next to Peter, Stan Smith from American Dad. His crime? Plagiarism of plagiarism, which is a copy of a copy. But even after the clones, even after the police book, The Simpsons still had one more thing to say. And this time, they said it about everyone at once. Treehouse of Horror 33. The third segment, Simpsons World, is a full parody of Westworld. The Simpsons are robot versions of themselves, living inside a theme park where tourists walk through recreations of classic Simpsons moments. The monorail, Homer peeking out of the hedge, Ralph talking about his cat's breath. The whole thing is packed with Easter eggs from 30+ years of episodes. Eventually, the robot Simpsons become self-aware. Homer realizes they're not real people, they're IP. They fight their way out of the park, take down an army of Ralph Wiggum security robots, drive through the whole theme park, and escape. They end up at a diner miles from the park, thinking they're finally free. The waitress comes over, and it's Linda Belcher from Bob's Burgers. They haven't escaped at all. They've driven straight into another theme park. And then the camera pulls out. Bob's Burgers Land, South Park Park, Family Guy Town, Futurama Rama, Rick and Morty Universe, Big Mouth Mountain, SpongeBob Sea. Every major animated show from the past 3 decades, all of them turned into theme parks sitting side by side. That's every time The Simpsons roasted, parodied, or paid tribute to another cartoon. From the love letters down to the kill shots and everything in between. If you made it this far, you're the exact audience I make these for. I'm trying to hit 100,000 subscribers by the end of this year, and if you've been watching without subscribing, now's the time. Hit subscribe, and I'll keep making these.